Shalom, shalom, shalom. Once again, this is Naaman with the DC Great Millstone Camp, back for another video. First and foremost, call Halal Yahweh, Hashem Yahushua, Hashem Rekah Hakwadash, and of course, double honors go out to the apostles, bishops, and elders of Great Millstone who rule well. I'd like to send out salutations to the fellow Akim that are out there on the highways, week in, week out. All right, and also that post many videos, all right, that go out and aid in the spreading of the truth across four corners, all right, and are out there, videos that is, for the edification of the hopeful elect. That's what we are here to do, all right. Let me get this copyright disclaimer. Under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statutes that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. All right, fair use, fair use, fair use. All right, it's going to be a very short video. All right, if you ever wondered why your politicians can't do anything, all they do is make empty promises, well, you should have guessed by now. If you didn't know, yeah, they're in the pockets of some very powerful people. And most likely it's of the issues, all right? The JOOs. This is how they roll. And if not anything, all right, for those I can't understand why you wouldn't, be paying attention to these Epstein files that come out, all right? Because it's telling you. This is what it's telling you. And I don't know, I can't remember if it was the Attorney General. I think it was Pam Bondi, U.S. Attorney General, that made a comment about if they were to prosecute these people, so the whole, I believe she said, system would crash. Well, she's absolutely right. She is absolutely right. All right. Now, let me put this on pause because I forgot to bring up something else. Hold on. I don't want to do it in mid. All right, I'm back. I just had to pull that up real quick so I can go straight to it. But in this short 1 minute and 1 second video, all right, he's not going to go into great detail like I am with the second one. But just to let you know, hey, it's some very, very powerful people. And we know that, you know, at the end of the day, it's the wicked, you know, Job 9:24, and other scriptures, you know. You're not considering the spiritual component to this. All right, so here we go with the video.
Jeffrey Epstein has every major U.S. politician on video doing something terrible, probably to a child or to multiple people. The bottom line here is the United States government has become so corrupt that the time has come, I think, to clean the crap out of the stables and start over. What has happened over the years is the federal government has become an oppressive imperialist power in debt to the banks. We should not be borrowing money. The Constitution provides for printing money, not borrowing money. We've now reached the end of our descent into hell. For 1/3 of what we all spend on military wars, not the military, but military wars, for 1/3 of that, we could raise the 5 billion poor. The whole point of grand strategy is to not only prevent wars, but to stop.
And that's it, because before I go too far, you got to consider prophecy must be fulfilled. That's what we're seeing playing out right in front of our eyes. Prophecy. All right. This place was built up, all right, and it's going to be destroyed as an example, all right, as it tells you in 2 Peter, 2nd chapter. All right. This is what this was set up for. This was to draw all these people in, as it says in Jeremiah. All right, this is supposed to be, all right, that golden cup. Let's go to Jeremiah 51. Let's start at 6. Let's see. Flee out of the midst of Babylon and deliver every man his soul. Be not cut off in her iniquity, for this is the time of the Most High's vengeance, and the Most High's name is Yahweh. He will render unto her a recompense. See, all the wickedness, especially against us, the Israelites. You can go to Obadiah. It tells you the reason why this is happening to, it goes down to the, I believe the heading for Obadiah is the, well, let's just get it. Because in this one, it goes to utter destruction of Babylon. But who heads Babylon? All right, let's go. In Obadiah, it says what? Edom will be humbled. All right, this is why this is happening to them. And this is a good read. Well, let's go back to what I was getting at, because I don't want it to take too long, but hey, it's up to the Spirit, the Holy Spirit. It says, for this is the time of the Most High's vengeance, he will render unto her a recompense. Babylon, verse 7, Babylon hath been a golden cup in the Most High's hand that made all the earth drunken. Drunken how? The nations have drunken of her wine. What is her wine? Her philosophy and doctrine. Just think democracy. What is democracy? Think about that. It's spread, well, let's deliver democracy. What the fuck is that? What comes with that? It's very heavily loaded. What comes with it? You got, women being out of order. You got sexual degeneracy, deviancy, homosexuality. All that is part of that. All right? The nations have drunken of her wine, therefore the nations are mad. Hell yeah, they're mad. Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed. Howl for her. Take balm for her pain. If so be, she may be healed. 9. We would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. Forsake her and let us go every one into his own country, which is, because people have figured out, like I've always said, people have been leaving this bitch since 2008. All right, 2008. All right. It says, flee to his own country. It also reminds you of Isaiah 13. It tells you, all right, every man's going to return to his own land. All right. Primarily what the wise immigrants are over here doing, that have especially dual citizenship, or that can at least go back to their own country, is up here making money, And I always say they keep their tennis shoes on, their sneakers on. All right, because at any moment they can just run back. It says, for her judgment reacheth unto heaven and is lifted up even to the skies. All right, so this is, the shit, when you really think about it, what a lot of these immigrants that are allowed to come here, and it's only for one reason, one main reason, all right, and it has to do with getting back at the Jakes that were already here. All right, and it's sad, people don't see a lot. But little by little, they're starting to. All right, let's finish it out.
Refugees from coming here. Those refugees are coming here because we bombed their country into nothing. If you continue to bomb the rest of the world, they are going to come to your neighborhood because it's the only one not being bombed. So we are creating these refugees.
You see here, it says the cloak of secrecy, the mysterious keepers of secret knowledge, enigmatic customs, and covert objectives are known as secret societies. They work in secrecy, or used to, and are frequently hidden from view. You see the hand signs and gestures and all that. But let's go to the other video I had set up. Let's see, here we go. And this is going to be, again, Sabby Sabs. She's out of Boston. And she's going into the Rothschilds. Yes, this is aside from the spiritual forces at work, these are the main people behind the scenes. One of the families, all right, that I said as a moment ago, I said, when I talked about secrecy, I said it used to be, because a lot of the power All right, that's where it was. And who really was, the mystery was who was behind the scenes orchestrating all this. All right, but not anymore.
It's time to talk about the Rothschild family. Because a lot of these things that we complain about goes back to that family. The Rothschild family is a family of vast wealth. They're the ones that really spearheaded this whole Zionist project, what became of Israel. But it didn't start there. You ever wondered how they were able to have so much wealth in the first place? You ever think about that? The Rothschild family wealth goes all the way back to the 1700s. That's how long they have held on to their wealth. 1700s. The Rothschild family is the most famous of all European banking dynasties.
How did they do it?
For 200 years, they had considerable economic influence in Europe. The house was founded by Mayer Amschel Rothschild. That goes back to 1744. So we're talking about not decades, not years. We're talking about generations, centuries of vast amounts of wealth. The Rothschild family.
Putting together a small team of partners right now to help me flip dirt. And I want to show you exactly how to do
centuries of vast amounts of wealth. The Rothschild family. If you're wondering how they were able to hold on to that wealth for so long, it's because they did something that some rich people also did back in that day. They married in the family. Ew, I know, right? No, seriously. They married their cousins. And the reason why they did this is so that they could keep the wealth in the family. Because typically you marry someone that's not in your family, and there can be this whole debacle over who gets what, and you get that, and all that type of thing. Now that money is also, part of it belongs to someone else. So they married their cousins to keep the money in the family. You can see it here. They weren't alone. Others that did this. Why have so many world leaders married their cousins? Royal weddings through history have often had one thing in common. The bride and groom were cousins. But did you know that so many royals, they married within the family? If we just dive down here, we'll get to the Rothschild family as well. Make sure I get to the right part here. Because they talk about like other families. Let me do the find. There we go. Here we go right here. Check this out. The marriages that I should prefer for our colony would be between the cousins. In that way, we should be sure of honesty of soul and purity of blood. This is wild.
Damn.
Other magnates were more discreet, but they often shared the same opinion by refusing to allow his female descendants to inherit his wealth. Banking great Mayer Amschel Rothschild, who I just told you about from 1700s, guaranteed that for his daughters and granddaughters to find wealthy.
And why is that? Further proving that they knew all along, because Mayer was also a rabbi. All right, so you know that lineage is passed down through the male. So if the daughters were to inherit anything, all right, so when a man comes along, all right, I mean, it's common sense. It's so easy. You know, but through their witchcrafts and everything, their pseudosciences, they got people believing that, you know, as the issues, you know, they practice one thing, but they tell you something else. All right. So this is proof that they know what the hell's going on.
suitable husbands, they would have to look among their cousins. And so they did. 4 pairs of Rothschild cousins, as well as one uncle-niece pairing, were wed. So this is something that happened quite a bit among wealthy families, back in the day. That's how they kept the wealth in the family. Gross. I know, right? Money was that important to them. Now, I had to point that out because they are a European banking dynasty. We're talking about centuries banking dynasty. So knowing how much wealth they had and knowing how they were able to maintain that wealth, that brings me to the Zionist Project. Because this is how they were able to move forward with the Balfour Doctrine. Listen to this.
Time, the Zionist movement, which aimed to establish a Jewish homeland, was primarily a movement from Eastern Europe. However, there was no clear leadership or figurehead representing this movement. The British government, recognizing the need for a central address, turned to the Rothschild family. The Rothschilds were a prominent and influential family, known for their immense wealth and connections. They had a long...
Pause right there. So, the British government... Again, the Zionist Project, Eastern European movement, the British government went to the Rothschild family because they knew they had the wealth, the money. But did you hear what else they said? They had power and influence and connections. They had all the tools at their disposal to get something like this done. So the British government said, let's go to the family that has the money and the means and the resources to get this done. Let's continue on.
Long history of involvement in various political and financial affairs. It was believed that their influence and resources made them the ideal recipients of such a declaration. Among the Rothschild family, the second Lord Rothschild, Walter Rothschild, was chosen as the recipient of the Balfour Declaration. Walter was an eccentric and colourful character with a passion for collecting. He had amassed the largest collection of ornithological material in Great Britain, showcasing his wide-ranging interests. However, it was Walter's deep interest in the Zionist cause and his involvement in the early years of the establishment of pioneer communities in Israel.
And that the commenter is correct. Bloodlines rule the world. On the left-hand side. So why isn't it true for the right-hand side? Now you understand why all this spiritual Israelite bullshit, what it's really about.
Walter's commitment to the Zionist movement made him a natural ally for the British government in their support for a Jewish homeland. Nevertheless, it is important to note that the Rothschild family was not united in their support for the establishment of a national home in Israel. Some members, like James Rothschild, who'd come from France, believed it was better to assimilate into English life and did not support the idea. Nevertheless, others, like Dorothy de Rothschild, played a critical role in advancing the Zionist cause. Dorothy, a major supporter of Israel...
Yeah, you tend to forget about the women of the Rothschilds, all right, but they were instrumental in some key points of this, all right. This commenter says Rothschilds equals earliest form of gatekeeping.
Israel from a young age became instrumental in connecting with the British establishment and facilitating meetings with Zionist leaders. She married her cousin, James Rothschild, at the age of 17. And
there we go with the cousins marrying, right? Okay.
dedicated her life to advancing the cause of Israel after his death. Dorothy's passion, combined with her ability to navigate the highest echelons of British society, made her an important figure in the Zionist movement. The Balfour Declaration, with its 3 simple words, "Dear Lord Rothschild," marked a turning point in Jewish...
Let's go back a little bit here where we have that document.
The Balfour Declaration, with its 3 simple words.
Dear Lord Rothschild, I have much pleasure in conveying to you on behalf of His Majesty government the following declaration of sympathy with the Jewish Zionist aspirations, which has been submitted to and approved by the cabinet. His Majesty government view with favor the establishment in Palestine of a national home for the Jewish people. Pause right there. But let Netanyahu tell it, there was no such thing as Palestine. Boy, I tell you, man.
Let's get this real quick. Scripture. How come they don't tell you this in your church? All right. What does it sound like? This is Ezekiel 36, right? All right. Prophecy to the mountains of Israel. All right. All right. Let's see. It started 5. It says, therefore thus saith the Most High, surely in the fire of my jealousy have I spoken against the residue of the heathen, and against all Idumea, which have appointed my land into their possession with the joy of all their heart. What did the first part of that letter say after dear Lord Rothschild? All right. Let's go back and roll that back real. I don't go too far.
Declaration of sympathy with the Jewish Zionist aspiration.
Cousin James Rothschild.
Make sure you guys hit the subscribe button.
Crap. I went way too. What the hell? Here we go. Sorry about that.
Are you looking for a home anywhere within 45 minutes of Washington, D.C., or any of the areas on the...
Boy, I tell you, man. And will use their best endeavors to facilitate the achievement where we have that document.
The Balfour Declaration with its 3 simple words.
Dear Lord Rothschild, I have much pleasure in conveying to you on behalf of His Majesty government the following declaration of...
I have much pleasure. Let's read that again. All right. It says, therefore thus saith the Most High, surely in the fire of my jealousy have I spoken against the residue of the heathen, and against all Idumea, which is the Greek way of saying Edom, all right, which have appointed my land into their possession with the joy of all their heart, with despiteful minds to cast it out for a prey. All right. Balfour Declaration. They parted my land. Think of also Joel 3rd chapter. All right, continuing on.
Conveying to you on behalf of His Majesty government the following declaration of sympathy with the Jewish Zionist aspirations, which has been submitted to and approved by the cabinet. His Majesty government view with favor the establishment in Palestine of a national home for the Jewish people. Pause right there. But let Netanyahu tell it, there was no such thing as Palestine.
What else did it say though?
Boy, I tell you, man. And will use their best endeavors to facilitate the achievement of this object. It being clearly understood that nothing shall be done which may prejudice the civil and religious rights of existing non-Jewish communities in Palestine.
Whoa,
or the right.
That's the part that everybody overlooks. According to the letter, all right, they were not supposed to stomp on the rights or do anything, not even remotely close to what they're doing now. How about that? They weren't supposed to abuse these people, even though none of them belong there. But this is in writing. All right.
Rights and political status enjoyed by Jews in any other country. So do you see what this Balfour Declaration said? That nothing was supposed to happen to the Palestinian people who were already there. They weren't supposed to lose any rights, and they weren't supposed to lose any religious freedom. Obviously, that's not the way that things turned out. But everybody needs to see this started in Eastern Europe and made its way all the way to the British government. And they went to the Rothschild because they had the money to get it out there and to make this happen. Again, it says Palestine for the people who continue to say there was no such thing. I should be grateful if you would bring this declaration to the knowledge of the Zionist Federation. That was 1917.
Words, dear Lord Rothschild, marked a turning point in Jewish history. It was a testament to the power and influence of the Rothschild family, as well as their commitment to the Zionist cause. The declaration went through several drafts and compromises before its finalization, but its essence remained the same. A promise of a national home for the Jewish people in Palestine. The declaration, as Jacob Rothschild went on to reveal in the interview, further expressed the British government's support for the establishment of a Jewish home in Palestine. It was a monumental statement that held great significance for the Jewish community. The declaration stated, His Majesty's government views with favor the establishment in Palestine of a national home.
Yeah, these motherfuckers living it up, pretending to be somebody else. Ran a con on the world. All right? They deceived the whole world like it says in Revelation 20th chapter. All right? What does Job 9 and 24 tell you? All right? If nothing else, there's another video I was watching. I forgot to do a video on it. I'll do it now, since I'm about to tell you. But old Jake from, I think the year was 1958. Some kids playing on a playground. It was a famous case back then. Just as an example. Playing in the playground. White girl kissed him. Man. When I tell you the shit that happened as a result. All right? But to my point here, later on, the Jakes, they elderly now, and the Jake said, you know, as far as being the devil, when you talk about the so-called white man, he said, until you find me somebody else that has done what he has done, all right, then shut your damn mouth. You know, and that's Job. You know, I'm paraphrasing, but that's what he said. And, you know, we get Job 9 and 24 here. Who else is it talking about here? Who else had the means other than these people? This is Job 9 and 24. And it says, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covereth the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he? If it's not these motherfuckers, then who is it? Like she said earlier in the video, who else had the connections, the money, the power to pull this off? All right?
The declaration stated, His Majesty's government views with favor the establishment in Palestine of a national home for the Jewish people and will use their best endeavors to facilitate the achievement of this object. These words were a beacon of hope for the Jewish people who had long yearned for a homeland of their own. However, the declaration also emphasized the importance of safeguarding the civil and religious rights of existing non-Jewish communities in.
And that didn't happen. That's the piece that wasn't there. Right? So if that was in writing that needed to happen,
Yeah.
Why didn't it happen?
Why didn't it happen?
It didn't happen because supremacy took hold.
These are the same people. They are Edom. Doesn't matter if they call themselves Jewish, German, Australian, British, Dutch, Italian, Turkish, Czech, Polish, French, Spanish, Portuguese. They're all Edom. American. They're all Edom.
I mean, Lord Rothschild moved this forward, but it's not like he went there to make sure that it was done the way it was supposed to be done.
Palestine. It was a delicate balance, ensuring that the establishment of a Jewish home did not come at the expense of the rights of others. This aspect of the declaration was crucial in maintaining peace and harmony in the region. The Balfour Declaration was seen as one of the most extraordinary moments in Jewish history. It was a culmination of 3,000 years of struggle and perseverance. For many, it was nothing short of a miracle. The idea that an impoverished would-be statesman like Chaim Weizmann could persuade powerful figures like Walter Rothschild, Arthur Balfour, and even Prime Minister Lloyd George to support the establishment of a Jewish homeland seemed unlikely, yet it happened. As good as the Balfour Declaration sounded, the reactions to it were varied. Within the Jewish community, it was hailed as the greatest event in thousands of years. It was a moment of immense pride and joy, as the dream of a Jewish homeland was finally within reach. The declaration provided a sense of validation and recognition for the Jewish people, who had faced centuries of persecution and displacement. However, the declaration also faced criticism and opposition. Some argued that it did not go far enough in guaranteeing the rights of non-Jewish communities in Palestine. Others questioned the motives behind the declaration, viewing it as a political move by the...
And you ever wonder why all your politicians, another sign that they're in the grip of these Zionists, they always pledge loyalty to Israel. There's another video I just watched today about some guy in New York. He's asking the police, he said, America first or Israel first? They couldn't say shit. This has been one of the largest bloodless coups I have ever seen or heard of. Everybody's scared shitless, all right, to say the truth, that this country has been taken over by a bunch of rapists and pedos and, pretending to be the chosen, as they call
British government to...
So you guys get the point here about the Rothschild family and the Zionist movement. I have to remind you again that the Rothschild family, they were a European banking dynasty. When you got the banks, everybody got to come through you.
This one's got me shook. James Version, Psalm.
Everybody got to come through you.
Meyer Amschel saying about give me control of, I'm paraphrasing, of a nation's money, and I care not who makes the laws. What's the other one that Jake used to say? What is it? Damn it. I can't think of it now. I'll come back to it. Man, damn it.
And if you say yes, then it happens. But where have the Rothschild family members been on this issue since the rights of the Palestinians were not protected? Where have they been? They've been steadily supporting the pro-Israel cause.
Yeah, they've done. You got to remember these people that call themselves, the Jews, which is funny to me because it's always just that one tribe. But they know enough to know, hey, that's the head tribe. All right, but they always do things that are contrary. All right, to the scriptures. All right, and the usury, the way that they use money as a weapon. The scriptures say money is defense. All right, it's defense against certain things. Like being out on the street, being hungry. But again, these people are just, they are the wicked. And they prove it each and every day. All right. And they're being pulled out of power. They can sense it. All right. We can see it. All right. And that's why what's happening is happening now. He's in the midst of him being exposed. on every level, on all levels. All right, he's not gonna have any choice but to resort to, his sword.
Never hear any of the Rothschilds come forward and say what's happening to the Palestinian people is wrong, and this is not what the Balfour Declaration said. You never hear them say that, do you?
Nope.
For those who are not aware about the Rothschild family, I think you need to look at who some of them are right now, just walking around in modern day society, and who they're connected to. The Rothschild family is worth an estimated $1 billion, meet the remaining heirs of their dynasty, right? Everybody talks about Jacob Rothschild, which is shown at the very, beginning here, one of the more famous ones. But you have to remember there are heirs like younger and walking around right now, like this one here.
Hilton's.
So let me tell you here. That is Nikki Hilton, Paris Hilton's sister. She's with one of the Rothschilds. Follow me with me, guys. These are the people with the money. The Hilton family is very wealthy. You'll notice if you follow this trend, a lot of these people are pro-Israel, or they donate money to Israel causes. So let's go on here. Lord Jacob Rothschild and his wife Serena had 4 children: Hannah, Beth, Emily, and Nat. The family's philanthropy has focused on Jewish charities and arts and culture. So let's look at some of the pictures, shall we? This is Hannah Rothschild. Hannah, 61. This is Jacob and Serena's oldest child. What does Hannah do? She's the author of several books. She also directed and produced documentaries, some about jazz baroness. She served as the chair of the board of trustees of the National Gallery in London.
Yeah, she said something about jazz, and I remember reading where, if anybody remembers the old jazz legends of the, I'll just say, I started the 40s, it goes way back further than that, but 40s and 50s, and I'm thinking Thelonious Monk, all right? But he used to run around with one of the Rothschild women. She was famous for, the jazz club scene back in the day in New York.
She has chaired the board of Yad Hanadiv, the Rothschild's family's philanthropic foundation in Israel. So here we go. Since 2018, according to the organization's website. This is something you'll notice. They all make sure that they support Israel. Nathaniel Rothschild.
Here's a secret trick to create a music video. Using your face.
Make sure that they support Israel. Nathaniel Rothschild, the youngest child and only son of Jacob. He was the co-chairman of the hedge fund Atticus Capital from 1996 until it ceased activity in 2009. He lives in Switzerland. He previously ran J&R Limited. Look at this. Forbes listed his net worth at $1 billion in 2012.
But see, you got to realize that it's not about the dollar amount. All right. When you see some of these that, it's only $1 billion. I know he's worth more than that, because I did a video about this like 3 or 4 years ago, I think now. Time has been. And it said the family was worth around $2 trillion with a T. All right, but it's the power and influence. All right, I believe what is it? I can't remember. I'm just gonna have to let it go. It's something about some kind of fund that it might come out. She might get to it.
But he's not included in their current billionaires ranking. Upon the death of his father, he became the 5th Baron Rothschild. Hannah and Nat have 2 siblings, Beth and Emily, who have not taken major roles in public life or Rothschild family institutions. So you got people behind the scenes too. Lynn Foster de Rothschild, 69, married Sir Evelyn de Rothschild. That was Jacob's cousin. She is the CEO of E.L. Rothschild, a holding company with investments in a range of media properties, including the Economist Group. Listen to this. She's a major fundraiser for Hillary Clinton in 2008 and gained notoriety for subsequently endorsing John McCain. So do you see how people move in both ways? See how she endorsed and donated to Hillary Clinton, but she also endorsed and donated to John McCain? You see how they play both sides?
Both sides.
Okay. She lives in New York and London. David Mayer de Rothschild.
Plastic Jesus.
See, these the ones walking around today. 45, he's the youngest of Jacob, youngest child of Jacob's cousin. Environmental activist. What do you know? He launched the Lost Explorer, a sustainable clothing and lifestyle brand in 2016.
That's funny.
Nadine Rothschild.
Environmental
Nadine
activist
is 91 years old, the widow of Edmund Adolph de Rothschild. When he died in 1997, he was thought to be the richest member of the family. Nadine is a French author and an actress who used the stage name Nadine Tallier, according to IMDb. Look this. Check this out. See how people can change their names? So she uses a stage name for her last name so that people don't know she a Rothschild. See, you got to pay attention. Let's go on here. This is one we really got to talk about. Arian Rothschild.
Uh-oh.
We have her here. Oh, I'll go to the next one in a second. Arian Rothschild. This is the one that just came up recently in the Epstein files. She was married to Edmund and Nadine Rothschild's son, Benjamin, from 1999 until his death in 2021. Having worked for various Rothschild financial institutions since the early 2000s, she became CEO of Edmund de Rothschild Group in 2023, making her the first woman to run a Rothschild bank. She runs a bank. Edward Itene, I'm going to butcher this, sorry, Alphonse Rothschild. We'll come back to Ariane in just a second. A member of the French wing of the family, 66 years old. He turned down a position at the French Rothschild bank to focus on pursuits outside of finance. Goes on to say here, he invested approximately $28 million in the left-wing Parisian newspaper Liberation. He became president of the board. He moved to Israel. Everybody see this? Members of the Rothschild family contributed to the founding of the State of Israel, buying land from Ottoman authorities and financing the construction of Israel's Knesset and Supreme Court buildings. So when people wonder, how was Israel able to do some of the things that they did? You see where a lot of the money came from. David Rene James de Rothschild. David is Edward's brother, the guy I just showed you. Served as chairman of Rothschild & Co. Gestion from 2012 to 2018. 81 years old. So these people, and then last, but I think this is the last one, Emma Georgina Rothschild. And she is 75. She's the daughter of Victor Rothschild, 3rd Baron Rothschild. She's an economic historian at Harvard University, an honorary professor at Cambridge. They're all over. They're in all different sectors here. And then there's James Rothschild. This is the one who was married to Paris Hilton's sister, Nikki Hilton. The Hiltons are very rich too, by the way, obviously, if you guys don't know. James Rothschild, 38, is the grandson of Victor Rothschild. He's the founder and managing partner of growth technology firm True Arrow Partners and the co-founder of the investment firm West Arrow. He's the trustee of Yad Hanadiv. He married hotel heiress Nikki Hilton at Kensington Palace in 2015.
I could make a song from your weirdest idea. Describe the song in a few words.
But that's giving you, For those that want to say that, these people don't exist and bullshit like that, well, here you are. Gave you the rundown on, these people that are behind the scenes. All right. Pulling the strings. And that's just this one family. There are others.
Jeffrey Epstein said in emails in the Epstein files that he worked for the Rothschild.
Oh.
And we know Jeffrey Epstein also was part of the Friends for the IDF. He supported the IDF, that foundation as well. All of these people are connected. And the one thing they all seem to have in common, aside from being rich and wealthy, is they're all pro-Israel.
Mm-hmm.
We have to pull up Arian, because I said I was going to go to her real quick, because she is in the Epstein files. So I do want you guys to see if I can pull it up, because this was one of the ones that caused quite a stir. All right, so we'll pull this up here. Look, watch this. There's a number of them. She's in the Epstein files. Mario has shared this on February 7th. Arian de Rothschild, chairwoman of Edmund de Rothschild Group, thanked Epstein for the thrilling hunt. She's not just wealthy, she runs a multi-billion-dollar banking empire with clients across global finance royalty.
What kind of hunt,
See?
I wonder?
From to Jeffrey Epstein, thanks, thrilling hunt. That's from Arian de Rothschild. And you can see it here. Got it. Amazing old male and amazing hunt. My banker should be careful. Great photo. Now, of course, they redacted that photo, so we couldn't see that. Here's another one. Arian de Rothschild exchanged emails with Epstein dozens of times a month. One of the most connected person to Epstein, and Epstein also admitted in email that he worked for the Rothschild. Mm-hmm. The same banking dynasty that ran Epstein also built Israel. Coincidence or design? See how often she was emailing Jeffrey Epstein? Uh-huh. People have been on it, I told you. Here was another one. Arian Rothschild and Jeffrey Epstein here. Great. Did you get my video with the girls? Arian Rothschild. I'll be there 20 to 30. I know it's true, but regularly used to say that Rothschilds planned and supported Hitler in mass destruction to gain more power. I'm in the Maldives also with a cold since yesterday. I've been diving a lot, 3 to 4 a day. Back in Europe, the third.
How many times a great millstone told you that Hitler and the Rothschilds were working together?
Arian Rothschild. What? I'm telling you guys, here she is right here. I mean, I don't know what else to tell you. Arian de Rothschild with Epstein. He was working for her and the Zionist mafia. She's untouchable. There she is.
Again, going back to the statement that the Attorney General, Pam Bondi, made. These are the people what she was talking about. And, of course, you got your celebs and, politicians here in the States, and others. If they were to actually do their job, all right, and what's their job? To pursue individuals such as this, and the ones that actually have committed crimes about this shit crashing. These are the people she's talking about at the end of the day. These are the ones that have their hooks in your politicians and others. Damn. This is one sick, twisted. But again, these people are being exposed. This is the beautiful part of it. This is the times that we're in. They are being exposed. All right. And this shit is this shit is falling fast. All right. You're about to see Revelation 12 and 12 about, it says, well, let's get it real quick. All right. Because again, he has no, well, they have to, which reminds me too, 2 Thessalonians 2nd chapter, but they have to try to get this CHIP, this MOTB going. The system has got to crash. Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea. For the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time. Indeed, it's talking about a man. All right. Isaiah 14th chapter. All right. It's talking about a man, a people. All right. They've enjoyed, all right, being in rulership for so long. How do you think they're going to respond to this being exposed, being called out, everybody wanting their heads? How do you think they're going to respond? Not getting their way like they're used to getting. This is what the truth does. All right. They know that, like I said, they know if they have but a short time. They're done. All right, this is going to be it. I'll just say once more, get some of those comments. The most evil family in history. The more you learn about them, the worse you feel about humanity and life itself. Elites have always been the predator class. That's why I said earlier, I wonder what hunt. We already know that they were hunting our people, Jake. All right, elites have always been the predator class. To call parasitic energies elites is the ultimate gaslight. They are not the best of us. They are the worst of us. Ooh. These people are the money changers. All right. Okay. The Rothschilds create wars and provide money and resources to both fighting sides. There you go. They always do this. I ain't going to go into that reptilian shit. All right. Nathan Meyer Rothschild was directly involved in slavery. Just saying, of course. All right. They cunningly took the American land from the Native and Red Indians and started inviting other Europeans in. They didn't like it when the British stopped the slavery, neither the black chiefs, especially those Obas and chiefs from Nigeria. No wonder they used Bibles that they never believed in to lure West Africans. The Rothschilds made the British to allot them Palestinians' lands. All right. Oh. Everyone knew it as Palestine, even in Hollywood movies pre-World War II. It was referred to as Palestine. All right, so that's going to be it. I hope, once again, whoever views this video has been edified. That's what we do here at Great Millstone, as bringing out all this information and, of course, linking it with the scriptures, as it should be. All right, because these prophecies are coming to pass. They're they're being but I also like to encourage you to remain circumspect. Keep your eyes and ears open, because I just got to warn you, it's only going to get worse from here on out, because these people are really going to start tripping hard. All right. because this economy, and we all know this has been being done by design, all right, as the oil prices increase, it's putting more of a squeeze on them folks, all right. So that's why I always say keep your eyes and ears open, because you know they can't handle adversity too well. I think we all realize that. So again, with that, until the next video, it's Shalom.